Hello. Here's one of the many interesting flavored stouts that's coming to the area this summer. It's Evil Twin's Even More Coco Jesus. I've done a review of the unflavored version of this, Even More Jesus. That's just a really huge, strong, in-your-face Imperial Stout. So that's, I guess, just that beer, but with maple syrup and coconut added. I don't know exactly what that means. If they add some coconut flavoring and maple syrup at the end. It's hard to figure out exactly how they make these Evil Twin beers. This is one of the ones that's brewed at Two Roads in Stratford, Connecticut. It's 12% alcohol. This is batch 1, which actually came out several months ago, but I haven't been in the mood to drink a tall boy of a 12% stout that's sweet and flavored in a long time. But let's do it. The unflavored version of this was a little too much for me, and this one's still motor oil black like the base beer, and quite carbonated. I've had this sitting in my fridge for quite a while, but the carbonation is still really strong. Some big bubbles. Looks like it'll die down pretty quickly. Oh yeah, it's still insanely dark, molassesy malts in the nose. Yeah, the flavoring is not too strong in this beer. Maybe it would have been a little bit stronger if I had this when it was really fresh. But I mean, for a 12% stout, under 6 months is still pretty fresh. But I'm getting lots of charred marshmallow and molasses mixed with the darkest real maple syrup. Coconut, I'm not really noticing much at all. Really distant, maybe over toasted burnt coconut. And of course, really dark brown sugar. And yeah, right on the edge of just being overburnt dark candies. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when I kind of overcooked some teriyaki sauce I made. Though it does have plenty of sweet elements. It's not just I'm gonna drink thick soy sauce. But yeah, it's still the Even More Jesus based stout first. This isn't ruled by the flavorings like the other big dark beer from Evil Twin in cans. Their Imperial Biscotti Break. That one's more sweet and flavoring forward. But this one is just really a dark in your face stout. Big body. Ooh, lots of char still. Kind of licoricey. Whew. Got some booze, warms up your throat a lot. Ooh, that's intense. Yeah, this one, I feel like if you gave it to me and told me it was just a in-your-face Imperial Stout, didn't say it had stuff added to it, I might not guess. But it does have a really nice, full, rich, complex malt flavor and body. It's almost has some winey character to it, also rich, super dark, almost charred, roasted fruits. And quite bitter, lots of char bitterness too. Kind of like I took something off the grill and I'm having all of the flaky, burnt bits on my tongue. Yeah, and there is some element of dried dark fruits, raisiny, almost winey, pruny. Yeah, I kind of was hoping this would be a little bit sweeter. I would notice a little bit more. of the maple syrup. But the body's really nice, but then it's boozy and a little too burnt for my taste. Like they used a lot of black patent malts and lots of roasted barley. It does give it a really nice complexity and body, but just a little too bitter and burnt for my taste. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I could add maybe I can make a float out of this. I've got some like sea salt caramel ice cream that might go well with this, but this might be too bitter and the flavors will be too disparate. But I'm not really noticing any coconut at all. And I'm getting some booze in the nose. Yeah, it's just kind of those charred flavors and the bitterness that's not really my cup of tea. I'm sure people will like this a lot. My friends, when they first had this one, said that they liked it a lot, but I don't know, not a huge fan. Maybe I should have had it when it's fresher, but I still would have had the intense bitterness and charred quality, even when it was fresh. But I'm really struggling to find the coconut. It seems, yeah, like it's just overcharred coconut flakes, maybe. And now that the aroma is pretty boozy, maybe right at first there's a little bit of a coconut thing, and the maple syrup is there. It's like a more of a woody, oaky sort of thing, and it's very lightly sticky, but it's just a little too much for my taste. I like this. I like stouts, that have a rich, dark, complex malt character and a full body and all that. But with this much bitterness and this much char, it just overtakes everything else, in my opinion. And it's not my favorite. But if you want that, and with a little bit of flavoring on the side, not a beer that's like overly sweet and has added flavors, or there's a lot of these sweet flavored stouts that don't have much body. This has plenty of body. I can't see anyone saying this is watery or too thin. That's what people say like about a lot of stouts, because they expect, especially Imperial stouts, to be really full body. But this one isn't my taste, but there's nothing exactly wrong with it, I guess I'd say. Maybe it's a bit too boozy in the nose, but I'm kind of getting used to it in the throat. But the lingering bitterness makes me not really want to go back for sips too often, as you can see. I wouldn't give a huge rating to this. I would put it in the 70s or something like that. Though nothing blatantly wrong about it or like super unpleasant. But it's it's Canada. This is kind of ridiculous. This is something you could split with a bunch of people. Maybe as it warms up, I'll notice a little bit more. But right now, it's just all charred marshmallows. But still an okay beer. Goodbye.